Hi, this is Ricky-san. I'm a Pi consultant. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is OEE and why OEE. And OEE in definition is called overall equipment effectiveness. And what does that mean? It means you in equation form is related to availability, performance, and quality. Why do we want to calculate OEE? And maybe you have heard that in the past, using the Pi system to calculate OEE. From my experience, this OEE indicator, it's a very good indicator to calculate before you even help your client, because you have to know where they are at first. And calculate OEE would tell you where they are at, and you can focus on helping them. When you help them and then you increase their OEE, and then you can tell your client, hey, it was 50%, now it's 70%, then we have helped you 20% increase. And that's a very good thing to tell your client, hey, we have achieved that with my service, right? So that is good thing. So we need to get a baseline, and that's what this video is about. And you may go to a company and first they don't have anything collected, like no data get collected. And how do you come up with OEE, right? The OEE actually, surprisingly, there are people in the company know OEE, and they are calculating that already. They know their piece of equipment ideal production time, and also how many units they should be producing per minute, for example, and also what downtime do they have throughout the shift. This is a number that they would be able to calculate even they are not collecting any data, because this is happening every day. So you would want to get this number first from your prospective customer and know where their baseline is. And then the fun things happen. You help them collect the data, analyze the data, build dashboard, for example. After a couple of months, you do the OEE again and see if any number get improved. If no number, if it decrease, I mean, you're doing the wrong thing, but it should increase. It should help the whole company utilizing the data, and when they use the data, they would be more effective. That's OEE effectiveness and all that. And then once the number is increasing, of course, you are doing a good job and you can stay longer, helping them solving more problems with the Pi system, for example. And the goal is to actually make OEE to be calculated automatically by per shift or by per day, or you got a number every day or by every shift, like 8 hours, right? Then you get an OEE number. The goal is like get to that point, and then people just have to draw a trend to see their OEE. You know, imagine how nice this is when OEE is on the dashboard, and then the CEO can see the number for the company, and they don't need to look at any other number other than that, and then they would tailor down, right? If the OEE decrease, they want to know why. It's a continuous refinement. Let's talk about a little bit of math about OEE. And let's talk about the availability first. Availability is the planned production time minus the unplanned time, unplanned downtime, divided by the planned production time. What does that mean? In my perspective, is like planned production time is kind of that piece of equipment within, for example, a shift. You're trying to calculate one shift. That means 8 hours. Everyone works 8 hours a day, and then they go home, they go to sleep, but there is 3 shifts typically, and 12 hours per shift too, but I'm just saying the typical one is 8 hours per shift. Then operator is going to operate that piece of equipment 8 hours. and your ideal production time would be 8 hours. You want it to be on when he's here, and that's 8 hours. And then minus unplanned downtime, let's say suddenly somebody disturb him and you have to turn off that piece of equipment, just hypothetically saying that. Then 30 minutes you turn it off and then turn it back on, right? Then unplanned downtime will be 30 minutes. And then you use that 8 hours minus 30 minutes divided by production ideal time again, which is 8 hours. And then you get a number. That's availability. Talk about performance. How do you calculate performance? Performance is the total unit produced times the ideal cycle time per unit, meaning how much time do you need to produce your one piece of unit, and then divided by planned production time minus unplanned downtime. So total unit produced. If you are in a refinery, you would have a fixed number of barrel to produce per day. I think it's a set because it's kind of like your throughput. Unless you expand your plant, then maybe the throughput is less. Your total number of produced unit per shift. I'm just talking about the shift because I think you can do per day, you can do per week, but I want to focus on just per shift. Total unit you produce is like, for example, 200 barrels per shift, and then you times it by how much time you produce that barrel. Ideally, maybe 2 minutes per barrel. Then you have that number, 200 times 2, 400, and then divided by your planned production time, which is 8 hours, minus the downtime, which is like 30 minutes. I talk about like that operator. And then you get the number for your performance. Quality to me is the easiest thing you can calculate. It is the number of good unit divided by total number of unit for that shift. Then you have integrator. You can have the total number of unit produced minus the bad unit as well, and divided by the total number of unit produced, then is quality. I don't know if it is possible, but maybe every unit you produce is good and it's passed like certification or pass the threshold of being good, then it's 100%. But if it is not, then it's lower than 100%. After you get your availability, your performance, and quality, then you are just going to times them all together to get your OEE, right? Then you get your number as a baseline, or after 3 months you calculate that again, or find someone in the company to calculate it again. Then you know where you are at, right? You put in dashboard, you put in Pi Analytic calculation, you deliver training to your operator, get them up to speed using Pi Visions, using whatever tool, you support the Pi system, you collect more data from the plant, and then that number should increase, right? OEE after 3 months or after half a year. That's the exciting part, because when you have before after, that means you are doing your job in the right direction. You're helping that company being more efficient using the Pi system. And you can start with one piece of equipment with one operator. I think you would want to pick the most impactful one, most expensive equipment, the most money spent, and then you want to focus on that for calculating the OEE. And OEE, you know, at the end of the day, you are going to combine all these into one iterative process. There's a framework I go over, from setting objective, knowing what to measure, and then set that objective. Like, for example, like how do you reduce downtime for that piece of equipment? And then we can brainstorm with the subject matter expert, and they will come up with the lever. They would come up with knowing what to change, right? Maybe just tune up a little bit of that set point or something. And then you could see the result, what's come up. And after you say, okay, is that change effective or not? If it is not, then you go back to where your baseline is again, right? Let's say you have a set point for that, you want to turn it up. Sometimes, it's not like you have turned the knob further, it's going to be produce more stuff. It could be worse because there is a optimum performance graph you have to look in order to get the most out of that machine, right? That piece of equipment. It's like trying an objective and then have an hypothesis and then look at the result after the change, and then you go back and do it again and again, right? Imagine the whole company is doing that. Then you have efficiency to be increased everywhere, and then you just, in my perspective, you just use the Pi system to support them. Continuous refinement until they get to a point like Tesla, right? Then everything digitalized. You look at your OEE, unless it's 100%, it is not good enough, right? So if it is 100% OEE, then I guess you have hit your optimum efficiency. There is always things you can improve, especially processes. That's my thought about using OEE as an indicator to help your client, because that is a very good thing to measure in terms of your performance and the evaluation of whether you did a good job or not for the company you help. Shoot me a message about your comments, and if you agree or not agree, let me know. And please give me a thumbs up or subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon. I will see you next week. Bye.